So, fair warning out of the way, minor spoilers, and only minor spoilers. I'm not going to give away everything with Andor, but the basic gist, it was pretty incredible. So the reviews seem a little over the top. They seem over the top, but these episodes, I really wanted to be attentive. Maybe I missed something or other. I think a few characters could still be alive. I think canonically they may be dead. I hope they're not dead. Hopefully they'll do more. So let's get right to it. So what is 9 to 12? Well, okay, I guess the harshest thing you could say it is one more spy mission, perhaps the most important one, for Andor before the events of Rogue One. And you're like, okay, because this has always been, let's get right down to business. You have to know a little bit about the OT. I'm just going to go real quick. This has always been a major plot hole. Like, how could the rebels allow the Death Star to be built? Why don't they just destroy the thing while it's being built before it's fully built? It doesn't make any sense. They explain this. And granted, yes, you have to do a lot. I mean, a lot of hand waving, which is not their problem. It is a Lucas problem. So you got to be like, yeah, it's a little bizarre, but that is what really that is kind of what was brilliant about Andor. It's like, well, if you don't care about Andor or even the rebels, this is really about the Empire. It is, yes, the plot is how did the Empire build the Death Star, but it's more than that. It's like, why is the Empire evil? How is the Empire evil? And it really does go through how methodically fascistic it is, and crazy, and paranoid, and internally, not just corrupt, it makes no sense. Like, one of the best scenes is when Krennic is interrogating, I'm not even going to go give away who, an underling and saying, why did you do that? Why did you break protocol? It's like, I broke protocol because it would not be efficient if I followed protocol. I should have. Now you're a rebel spy. It's like, no, I can't be a rebel spy. I just tried to kill another rebel. Well, that's what a rebel spy would do to pretend to not be a rebel spy. And it's just this whole big circle. And it's like, they're just lost. They're like, bro, she's not a spy. Why are you saying she's... And then he puts his, like, finger on it. Like, you are not good. Now, in any other Disney show or Disney movie, like, oh God, George, pull it back a little bit. But it makes sense. He is a bit of a cartoon villain. There are a few flaws here and there with Krennic, but I actually think it makes sense. Like, yes, I know, you see some shots with the flowing cape. Oh, God, it's like, oh, God, are they going to go? It makes sense. It's measured. Like, I criticize the early episodes of season 2, the dialogue, the jokes. Not here. Even when it sounds really silly, the dialogue is understandable. It's extremely histrionic, dramatic for a reason. There were a few places I'm like, okay, you're being argumentative for no reason on the Rebel side, but it does make sense with the story. And yes, we've seen these things before. We've seen a lot of this before in Star Wars, that the way it's done, communicated with silence, with pacing, is very powerful. Because with the other series, and it's not just Disney, it's with the Clone Wars, the other George stuff, it always feels very commercialized. Like, okay, we only have 30 minutes for this episode. We can't afford more. We have 40 minutes for this episode because, advertising another Disney Plus series. Or we have to advertise a toy. Or Lucas is like, yeah, the novel. You gotta push the novel. This feels like its own story. It's its own story. The reason things happen is this mythology, this story. It makes sense for these characters, for this mythology. That said, it is not mythology for everyone. It is very political. It is clearly very political. If you're not into politics, you're going to be like, why are they talking about this again? Who cares about energies and kaibas? But it is extremely political. It is clearly alluding to the French Revolution, to the Russian Revolution. It is clearly alluding to Cuba. It is alluding to the U.S. today. It is alluding to many things. If you're not comfortable with that part of Star Wars, it's not going to work for you. It is also, again, the final episodes, insanely funny. Despite being really dark and sad, these episodes were really hilarious. I mean, they were really funny. And it wasn't forced, especially the droids. The droids were so funny. It fits the tone. There are a few places you're like, I don't know, that could have been sharper. That person should be dead. Why does that person free? There are a few iffy moments, but there are also moments that were like, oh, that's kind of... You're like, yeah, why don't they do that? Like, they have grenades. Like, they use the grenades. It's like, they can't just... No, it's not just the blasters. They have other weapons. So it's like, good. Like, the villains were really competent. When they were incompetent, it made sense because they're just too jealous or stupid, or they're like, no, it's my Death Star. It's mine. I want the bragging rights. And it's like, Palpatine could kill us now. Yes, but it's my Death Star. I made it. It's mine. It's not Beta's. So it fits the characters. People are probably going to go back and forth on their favorite villain, or it's like, I don't know. It seems like you should have been on the ball. But why the rebels make mistakes, why the Empire makes mistakes, it's reasonable. It's like you can understand, you can comprehend. Whereas, again, good or bad with the Lucas series or the Disney stuff, the Force is just used so broadly. It can be used for everything. Saying, well, why is Anakin doing this? Oh, it's the Force. Why is Luke doing that? Oh, it's the Force. Why is Rey pop? It's the Force. There is the Force here. People are saying there is the Force, but it is used carefully as that is part of the universe. There is destiny, there's a prophecy, it's there, but there are choices. And the choices do matter, and people don't agree. Even people have the exact same goal. They're like, I don't think this is the right idea. You broke protocol, you should be punished. And other people are like, well, yeah, but maybe the information is more important, and it's just a back and forth. It's back and forth. But it's what human beings do. And people are like, yeah, but these are so long and boring. Well, that's how things happen with human beings. You can't resolve everything in 3 seconds with a lightsaber battle. That's not reality, because lightsaber battles don't exist in real life. I know they will. Probably in 10 years we'll have actual lightsaber battles. But to put it mildly, in Star Wars, too many times things are resolved by lightsabers and the Force, and it's like, of course, it's your destiny to do this thing precisely as the way I expected, because otherwise we'd have to wait 20 minutes. So it is what it is. So very mature storytelling, and it is apples and oranges with Game of Thrones, because I'm not going to go with the full intelligence here, but yes, it is confirmed. A lot of the cast agreed. Yeah, season 8 was disastrous. It was pretty stupid, very disappointing. Andor is the complete opposite. These episodes, they weren't perfect. I wish they did something more bold, but it fit the story they were telling. It doesn't destroy Rogue One. It's cohesive. It doesn't disrespect the earlier seasons or whatever. It worked with the mythology they began with. So it is true, good or bad, Game of Thrones went really experimental at the end, but in a bad way. These things were kind of in the middle. They're experimental at the limit. I don't know, Tony got nervous because there's some full on Jason Bourne stuff happening. It is very clearly Jason Bourne. So he's borrowing from himself, but it isn't stupid. It's not lazy. It's not like Yoda gonna show up because Yoda shows up. It fits the tone, it fits the story. And again, it's a shame that Game of Thrones could not have better writers or better producers, but we got lucky. Tony knew how far to go. I wish he went a little bit further. He is being a little cautious, but I guess at the end of the day, it's better to be a cautious storyteller, but be a good storyteller than just be like, guys, like Game of Thrones, it's season 8, we're gonna blow it all up. You're like, what? We're gonna blow it all up, guys. We're doing it live. Blow it all up. Why? We're gonna go down in history as the greatest artist. I'm the new Kubrick. This critic would say, it's my Death Star, and I'll destroy it if I want to. It's mine, Anakin's. Yeah, I mean, they were just acting like a complete clown show, just torching everything. And like, see? We torched it. And we're like, yeah, you torched it. Right. Huh? You're not going to get a huge huh moment in Andor. You're going to get a lot of crying, a lot of like, oh, laughter. There's a lot of laughter in these final episodes. But you will be more like, you'll be puzzled, but in a good way. It's not David Lynch. It's not David Lynch. It's not that deep experimentation, but it is experimentation within a boundary. And I wish they did more David Lynch stuff, but no, this was very satisfying. It's a very satisfying ending, very excellent. Please go see it and give it a chance. It is definitely not Game of Thrones season 8. They definitely avoided that beast, and that could have happened. So give them points. It could have gone all wrong, but it went so right.